Hey, good morning. Welcome to Korean Natural Farming Office Hours. Coming to you live from beautiful Hilo, Hawaii, for May 14th, 2023. And it's Mother's Day. Oh my gosh. I wish my mom was here. She's traveling. She's actually out in America in her Sprinter van, checking out all the great national parks and all the wonderful things that America has to offer, and doing all those things. But big love out to all the mothers, especially here on the farm. We got a bunch of mothers. We got Short Ribs the pig, which, let's see, do we have any pictures of Short Ribs? I know I had some the other day. I was looking at them. I just put them on my desktop here. Let's see, I'll bring these over. Let's see what we can get for you guys. Let's see if I want to go to this one. No, let's bring up a picture of Short Ribs before we switch that over. Where's Short Ribs? Oh, speaking of mothers, when I was on Maui, let's go transition this over. When I was on Maui, I got to see my good friend Reba, and her new little baby Penny here. And let's see here, that's doing that. And then let's see, can I get to this here? Maybe. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Baby Penny, and being a new mother. Reba used to be the president of the Haleakala chapter of the Farmers Union, and doing that thing and getting that together. And then let's see here, what else do we have? Doing the mothers here. Where's Short Ribs the pig? Oh, well, let's start with some of the little baby shots, because I was trying to show you guys these last week. But here's her little babies. And there she is in the back, Short Ribs, doing her thing. So, yeah, all the mamas on the farm. And, also got some beautiful cows and all kinds of mothers. That's what farming's about, is taking good care of our mothers and really, doing that. So I hugely appreciate that. All the plants out there that are, female or what do they call it? Trans, not transvestite, but hermaphrodites, Hermes and Aphrodite, hermaphrodites and female mothers out there bearing all the fruits for us and bringing it all around. It's all about the mothers, though. Really, that's, farming. You take good care of the mothers, you will have an amazing farm. So before we get into that, just saying, yeah, hey, Mama Jennifer, I just want to start with a little bit of higher wisdom, because kind of got excited there on the mothers and showing pictures and stuff before I got into the usual intro. But here we go. Let's get some higher wisdom for today. Oh, amazingly, it's decrease. Be still, lessen the power of the ego, and misfortune will be avoided. So, it is a fact of life that decrease comes upon us. Our resources are limited, difficulty surrounds us, and our ego generates angry and unhappy emotions. Nonetheless, such times are good for us. If we respond to them by quieting our egos and turning sincerely to the higher power for help, we emerge from a period of decrease stronger, healthier, and wiser. When we discover that we're unable to achieve our goals, our egos become infuriated. We are tempted to harden out into anger and bitterness and lash out, to desperately and aggressively grab for control over the situation. If we do this, however, we only push our own salvation further away. The I Ching counsels a withdrawal into stillness now. The image of that is of the spring reverting inside the mountain during a time of drought. By returning to its quiet center during the time of decrease, it avoids evaporating and exhausting itself in vain. You would be wise to follow this example. Trying to force progress by arguing, manipulating, or making excuses will only bring about your own downfall. Instead, disengage from inferior elements, however passionately they seek expression, and turn to the sage for guidance and assistance. The hexagram sun issues a call to sacrifice negative feelings, accept the powerlessness of the ego against the currents of life, and return to the contemplation of principles of the sage. In stillness and meditation, we enrich the higher parts of ourselves, thus bringing an end to the time of decrease. So, with that, it is true. Natural farming is all about the basics, right? We can pretend like we know more and there's more out there, but it's really about decreasing what we're doing. And through the decreasing of what we're doing, we're actually increasing. We're tuning in. We're tuning into this little bit, right? Had a friend come over the other day, teaching him a little natural farming on the farm. He's a neighbor just over the way, and he's talking story with him, teaching him some natural farming, and he's teaching folks how to do food forests and these types of things. And he was telling me, I'm ready for my master's degree. I was like, oh, no. Like, you're actually still like elementary here, no matter how much you think you know, it's really about the basics, right? It's really about mastering the basics. And if you think you're ready for a master's degree, that's like getting higher up and higher to these things. And it's really the whole core is like the basics. It's the most simple. If you think you want more, it's a clear sign that you're ready for less. So decreasing all those things, bringing it in. And if you've been here for the advanced training, you've learned that, about mastering the basics and all that and how important those issues are. And the 4 or 5 questions you're always supposed to be asking yourself. Some folks know what those are. But thanks for listening to me. Thanks for tuning in. And it's not just me, it's that higher power. So, and speaking of listening, here we got, Cecily from Western Australia, Illinois in the house, a couple people from Illinois. So, again, we're just about ready to get that mapping stuff out there so you guys can connect with each other. Got Joe coming in from New York. What's up, Bridger? Also the Goof Man in New York. Man, it's so nice to see you here. And you sent me an email the other day. I don't know what it was. I gotta check it out. I saw it. I think I read it. I definitely read it, but I'm blanking on it right now. Pedro in Brazil. Hey, Bridget. Good to see you here live. And Mark, what's up, Red? Yeah, Mother's Day happy Mother's Day to you too. Hope your mom's doing well. And Ben, what's up, man? Did you see the Icecream video? I posted, I'll just pull it up here real quick. Let's see here. It's my latest video. I was able to, feed the pigs here and get them some ice cream. So this was in Ben's honor here. And, one of the pigs down there, that guy right there, he's Sir Benny Bacon. And I think it's the bigger one. It's that guy right there. But we bought short ribs, some ice cream with your donation there. And, someone was commenting like, the ice cream's not that good for them and whatever. And it's like, yeah, it's probably true. They were saying, what's next? You're going to feed them some McDonald's? And I was like, maybe. Pigs eat all kinds of stuff. They turn what was waste into gold. They're amazing alchemists, transformers, and what's better than on Mother's Day watching a YouTube of a mother celebrating her maternity with all her beautiful little piglets, and they're just about weaned off. I'm gonna wean them off tomorrow. I'm actually gonna get their water system operating before I wean them off because they're getting kind of thirsty. But I got them their own pen and everything to do that. But we were able to feed short ribs here some ice cream, and then I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit because I put the whole thing here of watching the little pigs. I actually climb over the fence, get in there with them. But it's pretty funny when I skip ahead here. Oh, that's Lardo. And then here's I tossed the ice cream out, and I think they were eating the ice cream a little slow because I'm pretty sure they were getting brain freeze. That's just what happens when you eat it. They all scream for ice cream. They squeal for ice cream, I think is what happens. And is there sound for you guys? There might be, I don't know. But seeing all these little pigs eating the ice cream. Sorry, I filmed it kind of sideways. I forget that I was doing it up and down, and then I put it sideways, and then it's like, oh man, it's hard to watch sideways. But all the little pigs, and then at the end here, oh yeah, the little pig, he wears the ice cream bucket helmet, and he doesn't care. He's just like all in there getting the best, and wearing his ice cream, and all the rest of the ice cream's actually out here, and they're now eating it. That's Lardo. And then the Gray Boys, and then Sir Benny Bacon right there. He's going for it. He's eating it. That's strawberry ice cream. He loves it. But Mr. Bucket Helmet over here, oh, he took it off. Did he take it? No, he's still in there. He's still wearing it. Oh, man, that is funny. Sorry, I filmed it sideways. I forget that I was doing it up and down. I almost always, when I film sideways, But then I was trying, when I'm trying to make little shorts, you got to film it this way. But then when you're making regular videos, you got to film it this way, and I forget about that. But look at Lardo. He's going for it. Eating that ice cream. So it's good fun. Look at those little piggies. Oh my gosh, he got an ice cream mustache. Man, he got old fast. His mustache is almost as gray as mine. But yeah, he's back in the bucket helmet, and he's wearing that thing around. He's just going for it. And then there's Gigi, the only girl of the litter right there. Which stands for good grinds, I think, or golden girl. Yeah, the big bucket. It's pretty funny. Look, he's in that bucket. He doesn't care. He's going for that ice cream. He knows what's up. So this funny because this pig is actually the most friendly out of all of them, and he's also the most adventurous. And I love his stripes. Look at that. It's like he got these little stripes on him, but little bucket helmet. Oh man. So nothing better than raising little pigs and celebrating the moms. Look at those teats coming down. She's been nursing them so well. Oh no, she wants to put on the bucket helmet. No, she's not. She doesn't fit. But anyway, good fun with the pigs, and I appreciate all that. And the donations, the super chats help me buy snacks for the pigs. Without your donations, I can't help my. I mean, I just feed them papayas and banana stumps and whatever else I got going around there, But yeah, so no, it's good to have that. So, yeah, what's up? Yeah, so George, we got George coming in from Latvia, man. Awesome. Hope things are doing well there. Ben from Arizona. Stone Mason from Illinois in the house. Solar Gourmet, Germany. And we already got some good questions, so I'll come back to those, get back into those. Willie in New Zealand. Yeah. So yeah, and then happy Mother's Day. What's up, Rainbow Possum up in Washington, I believe. And Bronson, yo! I think he's in Alabama still, maybe in Tennessee, I'm not sure. Down in the South, man. So awesome. Good to see you, Bronson. See you through the text, I guess. I can't really see me. You can see me and whatever, so it's all good. And then, yeah. Oh, yes, 20 more bucks. It looks like we're going to get some more ice cream. I want to see him wear the bucket head again. Maybe I'll cut little eye holes for him and just have him go around. I don't know. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I just put this light up over here. And so this side of my face is lit up. So also, your donations, super chats help me improve the show. I don't know if it's any better, but I was trying to, actually wanted to get the light up above the source, but then it hits my hat, so I actually need two lights. But I'm trying to make it better, improve what I'm doing for you guys and improve all this. And of course, help Pure KNF Foundation, Master Cho over there too, Pure KNF, helping it all happen, get it done. But let's jump up to the questions because there's a couple here. Ben was asking. He got in here way early. He's a smart guy. He tuned in early to the stream, and he must be a subscriber with that notification bell hit, right? But he's saying, "Good morning, Drake. Do you know if there's any use for your OHN herbs after tincture? I have been I finished pouring off. I assume composting. I do not remember to add them to the worm bin." One thing you can do with them is after you're done pouring off your OHN, they still have a lot of herbal ness to them. You can actually make tea. So if you want to consume it yourself, you can dry them out, and then boil them up when you boil water, and then soak them in, make a little tea. And so you can get those herb extracts. That'll be like kind of a water flavoring extract as a tea. So that's one thing you can do with them for sure. And hit that like button. You don't have to hit it. Just press it softly. So that, if you want to get a little more value for yourself out of them, you can do that. Composting works. They are really potent. So like you said, do not put them in the worm bin. They will kill your worms. But Master Cho also talks about putting them into fermented mixed compost. So if you basically you're taking organic material, and he's making a fermented mixed compost, which basically is you get your CN ratio proper, and you get a bunch of material that's kind of like rich this way, and then you're adding 10% IMO4 into it. So however much volume you have, by that volume add IMO4 at 10%, then you're getting a fermented mixed compost, which is even a more superior compost for what's going on. So you can do that. That's that's of his recommendations. That's what they are. But I guess that's just like a compost, a regular compost, except for you're making fermented mixed compost, which is even better and, good. So how's this light? Should I put it over there? I don't know. Where is it? It's catching my mic too. My mic's in the way. I actually got a ring light around my mic to hit me. But then I got this sweet pop filter on here, so it doesn't blow you guys out, right? So that's definitely what you can do with those herbs. And then Solar Gourmet is asking, is there any recommendation for having JMS always at hand without the need to start from scratch each time? And the thing about JMS, Jadam Microbe Solution, which I call disgustingly cheap microbes, is that you can't just keep it around. When it's ready, it's ready. And the longer you keep it around, the more it turns into dead bodies. So the microbes, let me just pull up my book here because it outlines it in here a lot better than I do in terms, or it'll add to my visual aid. Let me actually switch this to this dirt view. So, and let me go down to the disgustingly cheap microbes part of this, which I realized, as I'm pulling this up, I realized I did not send this out to you guys. I did update it a little bit, and I do got to get that out. But here it is, disgustingly cheap microbes. So having a little JMS on hand is basically in your first start to 2 days, hour 48. Again, this is going to depend on your temperature. If it's really cold, this could extend out to maybe like 5 days at this point right here. But for most folks, or most of the time, it's going to be here about 48 hours or so. And what's happening is the blue line up here, this graph, is your worker microbes, like the ones you want in the soil, the worker microbes. And then these other ones down here on this is green, I think it's green, this lower green line is going to be your fertilizer microbes and or like your putrefaction dead body type, not soil microbes, but just opportunistic zombie type microbes. And the worker microbes are going to take off real quick. And they're going to grow in your first, for me, about 36 hours, 48 hours, somewhere in there. They're going to take off to these huge populations. And that's why you want to use it in this blue box here. This is a timeline start to hour 72 over here. That's what this line's representing. Hopefully you guys can see my mouse. I don't know what happened to my program that let me view my mouse, but it's not launching for me. Although maybe I could figure it out. Let me see if I just have mouse. Do I have? I don't know. I don't remember what the app was called. Okay, so I don't have that. But so your worker microbes take off. And then if you keep your JMS around, like always keeping it on hand, it's going to die off and you're going to be left with now these guys which are taking over, which are like zombie fertilizer microbes. So having a little bit on hand, by the time your worker microbes peak, then they start dying, these guys start taking off, you can't keep it on hand, right? You're going to be spreading out zombies, not workers. So you always have to make a fresh batch of the disgustingly cheap microbes because you need these worker microbes to pop and then just natural cycle, they start to die off. So if you store it, you're going to be storing these zombie microbes. And if that's what you want to store, it's not, it's not really what you're after. It's not the microbes. These are not the microbes you're looking for. Right? So keeping it on hand, I don't recommend. Just make it fresh and, a day or two before you need it. Make it. It's quick. It's dirty. It's simple. It takes less than 5 minutes. I explained this to guys in Maui in like less than 5 minutes. I was like, look, it was less than a half hour actually. I was like, look, I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. And I was like, here it is. Here it is. And of course, the populations have to do with the bubbles that you're seeing. I should probably get a true picture of this, but the ring, once your good microbes die off, the rings touch the edge and it starts to get like a thick foam versus in the beginning, it's like this bubbly, like soda-like foam. And the smell, of course, changes. In the beginning, no smell. Then it's a sweet kind of smell, maybe it's sweet sour, and then it gets stinky like death. And that's when you want to avoid, that's when you guys are zombie microbes, which are then good for fertilizer, not soil microbes. Okay. So that's what you're getting. So just to let you know, it's not worth keeping your JMS or your disgustingly cheap microbes on hand. Just get rid of all those. Use it as quick as you can. And we got Thomas from Florida in the house. What's up? Okay, and then going back here a little bit, question. Does Pedro from Brazil is asking, does Master Cho have a presentation or PDF on liquid IMO? Yes, he does. In fact, it was part of this presentation. So that I've been going over, which today we are on. We're on natural farming products, which I'll get to. Which this is slide 187 out of this. So remind me, 187 on a cop, to quote Sublime. 187. Okay, so he talks about bacterial mineral water, and this is a way of making liquid IMO, right? In here, you're putting a bag of IMO4 dangling in here. So this is a way to make liquid IMO that he's talking about. But then I also believe, and we went over this, right? So if you're looking for this and you want to find it, who do you call? Probably the Ghostbusters, but you can also go here to the Pure KNF Foundation, our website, and then go down to here, KNF support, which takes you to KNF support, obviously, and then up here at office hours, and then from here, here's today's episode we're going on, and then you can also search for liquid IMO here, and this will search your office hours. So it looks like I talked about it on March 12th, straining liquid IMO here, compost tea, I talked about that. November 6th, I also, let me just go like this and just say liquid and just go this way. And then I talked about, liquid IMO, Busby project. We gotta spell check that stuff. And then I also talked about liquid IMO here on, again, the November 6th episode right here, hour 58. And then here, talked about it again, minute 58 of the October 30th episode. And then that's that. But then there's more pages, so I talked about it more here. Let's see. I should make this so it just brings out the thing you're looking for. But man, it's a lot more programming to do, I tell you. Second, making liquid IMO here, hour 55 or like minute 55 of the September 25th. But you guys get the idea. This is how to search this. And then you can also just look here if I look for liquid IMO on this search bar over here where I'm searching right now, this will search KNF support here. And so, these are answers. These are text-based answers. So when you search the office hours, it's these videos to search, what you're watching right now. And if you go to this, it's the text-based ones. So I'm working on kind of integrating all those, but there's a lot of like for liquid IMO 3, how much for a 5-gallon bucket? There's a lot of this. There's tons of answers here. And the Goof Man's been dropping just knowledge on this one here of everything. And I weigh in once in a while, but he usually beats me to it. And he usually puts a better answer. And so I can go and then like here's his great answer. Oh, actually that was mine. Whoops. I should find the one with the Goof Man answering. But here, let's see, the Goof Man. No. Three fingers, about that much. 3 fingers, I don't know what that means. But the thing is here, if you got a good answer, that one wasn't even answered. Let's see, storing IMO 4. What do you got? Ryan. This enables us as a community to answer each other and to put good answers. And then when we find the right answer, you can upvote it or downvote it so that it'll sort to have the best answer float to the top. And anyway, that's what I've been trying to do, provide this for all of us, make these things happen. So, but you were specifically asking about Master Cho saying these things. So let's go back to his presentation here and look where he's talking about IMOs. No, that's the nutrient cycle. Let's see, what is this? Is making plant juice. Cultivation of ryegrass, soil structure changing, seeds, groundwork, seedling. No, who remembers crop production? Oh, here's the IMOs. Okay, how to utilize IMOs. So he is talking about IMO here. And then he's saying how to utilize and using IMO in a liquid form. So here's his, talking about IMO tea, making a liquid IMO. He says using IMO in a liquid form between 1 to 500, 1 to 1,000. That's what he's mentioning there. Kind of vague, not much on it. What else? Collection, that's IMO 4. Let's see, what else? IMOs 2. Anyway, he was talking, IMO 1. Is there any, look at this, tree cracking that rock. Yeah. Paper beats rock every time. But yeah, so he does talk about these things. Where are they? I don't know. It's hard to find it live. But again, that's why you can watch office hours, can go back to past episodes, can see all these things. So anyway, he has talked about it. I should find one directly on it, but he does, let's see what else here. Vinegar extract. Oh, if you're talking about a vinegar extract, maybe for those herbs is what maybe ecological projections projects is talking about. And let's see. Yeah. So doing more extracts on those herbs, again, to go back to Ben's question about extracting the herbs, because it's funny, when we're trying to do these table of contents, I like jump around with topics because the chat and everything, the way the linear time goes, I jump around and it makes it hard to make these things succinct little clips later, but we try. And so he's ecological projects is talking about making a vinegar extraction after you do a alcohol extraction. But I don't think that vinegar extraction is one of the three types. There's fat, there's alcohol, and there's water. So I think at a vinegar extraction, you're actually doing a water extraction. I could be wrong, but vinegar would be more of a dissolution than an extraction to me. So instead of tincturing, right? There's water, fat, and alcohol tincturing, but vinegar would be more of a dissolution. So it's kind of a different alchemical process that you're getting into. But not to say it doesn't work. It probably has different properties that come out. I don't know what dissolves from herbs, but maybe something does. I don't know. I'm not a. I need to do more science. I'm only, who I am. So, if you have something to share, everyone on YouTube says put it in the comments below. But if you're not watching this on YouTube, just put it back into the ethos. We'll find it somewhere, right? What if you're not watching on YouTube? Comment below. There's no comments below. Well, then just say it really loud. Maybe someone around you will hear it, right? It's like, oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, so how does fermented mixed compost differ from IMO 5? Pedro's asking that. IMO 5 is the most controversial topic in natural farming because Master Cho calls like 10 different things IMO 5. So how does fermented mixed compost differ from IMO 5? Fermented mixed compost is when you're going to, after you're adding CN ratio plus 10% IMO, you're getting fermented mixed compost. He calls a bunch of things IMO 5. So how does it differ? It's a specific IMO 5 that he talks about, but it's not. So certain people will say IMO 5, this, that. It's like, I've heard people say IMO 6, IMO 7, IMO 8. It's like, what the heck are you talking about? These, it's terrible language to say these IMO numbers because you have no idea what people are actually saying. It's like me saying bokashi. It's like, that just means specialized compost, right? It could mean anything. So how does fermented mixed compost differ? It's a specific, you're making fermented mixed compost. You're making a fermented, compost with IMOs at 10% in there. So that's how it differs. It's just the terminology thing, and the vocabulary and the terminology we use are the most important, because when you use precise, good, informative vocabulary, then people can understand. You can shorten the learning curve down to next to nothing. Versus if I say IMO 5 and then I say IMO 5 in this other context that means something else, it's like I've lost that person. Versus I say fermented mixed compost. So getting a clear, clean, standardized vocabulary for natural farming is what I've been trying to do for the last 15 years or the last at least 10 years. And really clarifying that, because that, when I was teaching, like I said, my neighbor was coming over the other day and I was teaching him, and I'm like, look, we're talking about the KNF fuel. And I'm like, when do you use fish amino acids? I'm like, well, when do you use fuel? Think about your garden as a fire. When are you going to use fuel? It's like in the beginning, right? You need a gasoline, lighter fluid to start things. But at the end, once it's going, you don't want to dump a bunch of fuel on. You'll cause an explosion, right? Same thing with your plants, right? You don't want to use a bunch of fish amino acids. Once you got the plant going, you can cause overgrowth and actually cause sickness and cause obesity. Versus if you use a little bit in the beginning and a little bit at the right time, it works well. And so I was able to convey that whole concept to him by just calling it KNF fuel. And he's like, oh yeah, I get it. It's like, yeah, use fuel at the beginning and then use a little bit as your fire's burning. But if you throw too much, it'll explode, right? And it's like, okay. Versus I call it fish amino acids. It's like, when do I use that? What, I just, amino acid, I'm going to add it towards the end, right? And it's going to explode on you. But you call it fuel. That's why, from fermented mixed compost to IMOs to all these things of the right language can make it so it's just like, poof, I understand immediately. Just like calling, instead of fermented plant juice, you call it KNF food. When do you need food? All the time. Right amount, not too much. Versus you call it fermented plant juice. People are like, when do I use this? I have no idea. It's like, call it food. You need a few different foods at different times. And the more balanced diet you give your plant and you put it in there, then it works, right? You give it too much food, it's going to rot. It's going to cause disease problems, right? All these things. But it all comes down to the vocabulary. And if I call it food, now it's not like I have to tell you stuff for like hours and hours. It's like, it's just food, man. It's just food. Everyone understands when you want to eat food, right? I'm sick. Maybe I don't want a lot of food. It's like, yeah, same in your mixes, right? Plants are sick, less food, more cleanser, more medicine, little bits, like right amounts of all these things. But now you become, with the right vocabulary, it becomes easy. Your kids can understand it. And I don't have to teach you a whole lot. It's not some mystery. It's just, these are basic, simple things, right? So anyway, I long rant on the vocabulary, but it's all about the vocabulary. That's where how IMO 5 differs from fermented mixed compost. It's a better vocabulary to use. So I encourage you to throw away the old vocabulary that was poorly translated, that we, started to teach natural farming with, and use the pure KNF vocabulary, because it's so intuitive, so simple, so easy. You don't have to confuse people, and don't mention all this jargon and all these things. This is KNF fuel, right? Korean natural farming fuel, right? What is it? Well, it's fish digest, fermented fish, right? You don't have to go and say fish amino acid. It's like FAA. It's like, what the heck? You're going to confuse the crap out of people. So anyway, I rant a whole lot on that, but that's, it's what I've been doing for the past 15 years. So it's something that I think is important. And if you think it's important and you haven't hit the like button, slightly tap that thing. Just a soft click. Don't break your whatever you're listening through. Okay, so I get pumped on that. And then I also think that I talk too fast because I watch YouTube at 1.5 times. And I notice most people talk like this. I'm like, oh gosh. And do old students get an updated copy? Man, you know what? When I'm talking about the book and I'm talking about it, updated copies, there are 2 versions on the website. And if you bought the one where you get the updated copy sent to you, I need to send those out. I've been really dragging on that of just not sending them out. But you do get updated copies if you bought the one that enables you to have updated copies. So you will be getting one shortly. I can't say how shortly. But I've been doing a lot to make it happen, to bring you updated information, to clarify, and then keep your older versions, because there's changes and I don't always make it more clear all the time. And it just dropped my chat in here. Interesting. FTP all day. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'll have to figure out how to get my chat working back here, but I can just go to this other one here, and I'm offline. What the heck happened? Oh, okay. What the heck happened? Check my connection. Did my internet die? All right, hang on one sec. Okay, well, it's live again, and I know we dropped out here. Sorry, guys. So what happened is I blew a fuse outside, and it dropped my router over there, which I got to really work on. I got to really distribute the power better through this building, because I have so much all on one circuit, and it just blows it up. So if anybody's still there, I don't know. You guys might come back, but maybe not. Well, I'm just going to continue as if you're still there, because I don't know. I fixed the problem here, dropped that. So since no one else is here with this, I did, and if you missed it, I did end up talking a lot about the vocabulary. And then Ben here was asking a question. Let's see, where the heck is this? Why is that? Okay. Are these synchronized? They are. Okay. Okay, so Eyewitness was asking, was wondering about a batch of vinegar should smell as it goes throughout the fermentation process. So far, mine smells like rice wash water that sat out for too long. The thing will eventually become sour. So there is still 12 people here, it looks like. So I would, the vinegar will eventually smell like vinegar. I don't know how to otherwise describe it, but eventually, like once your acetic acid bacteria start growing, your scobies, your yeasts, those things, they're mostly acetic acid bacteria. There's another name for them, but they'll start growing, and then it'll start to smell like acetic acid. I I think we're back. I'm just seeing if anyone's still here. I don't know. We'll just continue as if it's going. I have no idea. Because this one can't connect to the chat. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to finish out today. I got 15 more minutes of my office hour that I wanted time to share with you guys. And I'm not sure if folks are here live anymore, but we'll see. But I'm going to go over Master Cho's presentation here. So we'll go back to slide 187. Here, coming down, where are we at? We've covered a lot of this presentation so far. 187. Okay, and it looks like we're about 3/4 through on this presentation, which is cool. Let me see, does this allow me to reconnect? No. Anyway. Okay, so natural farming products. Last week we covered natural farming methodology. We went through all these like philosophical things. You know, if I'm going too fast, you can pause it. But here, natural farming products we're going through today. So what does this mean? I don't know. Let's get into it. So, and let me just hang on one sec. Let me just see. Is this thing, are we still there? I don't know. No one's chatting back. I don't know. So we'll see. Anyway, we'll just continue. I'll upload the video later. So natural farming products, let's jump into it. Let's dive into it, right? That's the classic YouTube thing. I don't know. Let's just switch the screen to this instead of diving anywhere because we're sitting at a desk. And if we dove into something, it'd probably hurt pretty bad. But natural farming fruits. Oh, you know why today was decrease, right? Oh, decrease. Okay, so natural farming fruits have good taste and fragrance due to the proper use of farming resources at the proper times, at the proper rates, in the proper quantities, based on the nutrient cycle of fruit trees to the farm soil without using any herbicides. What? No way. So it turns out if you give the right stuff at the right time and the right quantity, it actually has better flavor and better smell. No way. Wow. Imagine that. Imagine that if you fed a tomato back, a fermented tomato, and it received that it actually tastes like a better tomato instead of giving it some chemicals that were made somewhere crazy and trying to overjuice it and shut off its root system by overburdening it with too much. You're actually giving it back a fermented tomato that it's going to taste and smell better. Wow. Mind blown. Really? Yeah. It actually, even a 5-year-old could understand that concept, right? Like, but so the fruits taste better. They're more fragrant. Therefore, you can probably get a better price, right? So instead of trying to grow way more, grow better stuff and get it to a better market and get healthier people and get it, and so the mindset of trying to grow huge acreage, which I'm not against growing huge acreage because we need to feed the masses, but I'm also for growing better nutritionally dense produce and getting it to people and actually giving them real food that's healthful and full of vitamins and nutrients, because when it tastes better and it smells better, that means that you got your plant's secondary metabolites in there, and those things are what gives us health, right? It's not just that NPK, like the basic building blocks. It's the subtle small things. It's the hormones, it's the enzymes, it's the plant's secondary metabolites, and that's what's making the difference. So imagine that. You grow better fruit by giving it what it needs. Wow. So natural farming fruits can be enjoyed without skinning, meaning that their skins are so tender that you don't have to peel off that thick layer on the outside, unless it's a banana and you probably don't want to eat the banana peel, or if it's an orange, there's a lot of things. But I noticed in Asia, I just eat an apple and I eat the skin. I noticed in Asia, they always peel it. Or Asian pears, they always peel the outside off. And I was like, what the heck? I just always eat it. But I'm a barbarian Hawaiian, right? Grew up in Hawaii, and we just eat fruit, man. You just throw it in your mouth and eat it, right? But the fruit, what happens is the skin becomes nice and tender. It becomes very palatable, easy to eat, and you don't have to have this thick rind on there, right? Because the fruit has what it needs. It's putting more fruit instead of more skin. Then it says here, they are very sweet, have a lot of sweet juice in them, have a pleasant, crisp textures, and smell great too. All that is going to command a higher market price, and now you can make the good money from growing better stuff and get your customer better. And if you're not into money, then heck, just do it and sell it for cheaper. Whatever, don't command the higher market price, even though you deserve it, right? Whatever, each of us has our own theory on what we want to do. So let's go to the next slide. Natural farming crops do not suffer from soil depletion because of the soil's restoring capabilities aided by microorganisms and crop management based on the nutrient cycle. What does this mean? It means that you don't get monocrop disorder, right? Where you grow the same crop over and over again and it sucks out the nutrition and you end up having to crop rotate, right? You don't have to with natural farming because you're putting in the microbes. Those microbes are then re-inoculated each season when you're doing soil foundation. When you put it in the beginning of the season, you put more microbes. Now you're not getting you're not isolating your microbes to just a few families. And then you're also supplying the nutrition to the leaves of your plant. And now you're not sucking and depleting your soils, and you can actually continually monocrop the same crop without rotating it. What? Whoa, mind blown. Yeah, it's because you're not just dumping a bunch of chemicals and killing your microbiome. You're actually restoring and giving back to the land. Wow, what an idea. And then he says they have high yield, high nutrient content, good taste and smell, and are free of residual pesticides. What do you want to eat? Do you want to eat, that's what I want to eat. I want, as a farmer, I want high yield, and then I want high nutritional dense content if I'm going to eat it. I want it to taste good. I want it to smell good. And I don't want it to be full of residual pesticides, right? I mean, who out there is like, oh yeah, I want the pesticide one. That's what I'm into, want to make sure I have enough Roundup inside me so I don't grow weeds inside or whatever. I don't know. But all these things, right? When you farm this way and you have all these things in there, like this is what your customer wants. This is why you command the higher market price. So then he goes on to say, fermented natural farming resources provide a safe and effective farming environment where right resources are used at each development stage of the plant, right? So, and unlike some other things that are safe and effective, this has had thousands of years of testing, and has been trialed across millions of things before it was released. Anyway, I don't want to get off on that thing, but safe and effective is a triggering word for me at this point. Yeah, these are matched. It's already what's happening in nature, right? You're matching it at each stage of development, and you're not trying to just give one dose or just to everything. You're really giving it, you're not just saying, oh, everyone's the same. We all got to take the juice. Instead, you're matching it to each crop. You're matching it to each timing period. You're matching it to each maturity stage, and you're really dialing it in. And this is where you enable to get just amazing results, right, out of this thing. So look at this look at this cauliflower Master Cho has. Imagine you're growing cauliflower that size, right? This is what I'm talking about, commanding the higher market price. You bring cauliflowers in like this, people are like, yeah, that's what they're going to post on their Instagram. They're going to be like, look at my cauliflower. It's what's going to get you social status, is eating nutrient dense, higher, better food, right? You thought that having a nice lifted truck was going to get you status? No, cauliflowers like this right there are going to get you better status, right? And onions that are just like so tasty, so phenomenal. Like you want to pick up, really since it's Mother's Day, you really want to treat your mom to something well. Do natural farming. Give her onions this big that are just like, Mom, I brought you an onion. She's like, just one onion? It's like, but look at it. She's like, oh, I love you, son. or daughter or whatever, offspring of mine, I love you. Like that's going to get you true love. That's going to get you so your mom doesn't get dementia, right? Because she's eating nutrient dense food, right? She's eating the balanced nutrition. She's not getting pesticide residue, right? You really want to take care of your mom? Start natural farming, right? Do this stuff, grow it, eat it, nourish each other. And then also, as your mom's having, mother's having babies, eat the natural farming solutions yourself, because then your body won't be depleted. You won't die young. You won't get osteoporosis. You won't break your hip and die, right? All these things, these are what natural farming has to bring to the table. And I'm just tuning it today for our mothers, because without you, we'd be nothing. So then he goes on to say natural farming rice, which, rice isn't applicable to us all, but lots of people eat rice all around the world, even if we don't grow it. Natural farming rice is richer than ordinary rice in carbohydrates and other essential nutrients, right? What? How do you say that? Well, because it's all in balance, right? They have more nutrients in there. You're putting the seawater, you're getting the minerals, you're putting the fermented plant juice, you're getting the minerals as food, right? Fuel, calcium, reproduction, all these things. And the carbs are better for you. What? How could that be? Because the carbohydrates are these complex structures, and as you get them more rich, they become better for you, right? If you have a simple starch, it's like high glycemic index, but you start natural farming, your glycemic index isn't as much because your body can't burn through these carbs because they're more complex and they give you more sustained energy over the long run. What? I'm just making that up, but it's true. In natural farming, the rice plants have wider spacing among them to allow more room to breathe with better air circulation. So you can actually even plant further apart than you normally would, because you're going to get higher density per plant. Whereas I think usually each rice plant puts out like 10 to 15 rices, like rice per stalk. When you do natural farming, you get like 30 to 40 rices per stalk. So if you only plant half as much, twice as far apart, you're going to get even more yield per acre, because it's going to have more space, but higher density on each one. And that's the crazy part about it. Most people don't think about that. They think, I got to maximize this, but you choke it out. It doesn't get the air. It can't reach its maximum potential. So, plus you want to eat rice that's has good breath, right? Breath is the life. The mana. And it says natural farming methodologies such as no-tilling, extensive use of indigenous microorganisms and natural resources, and the utilization of the nutrient cycle results in high quality, high yield rice, right? Again, I already kind of talked about this, going over it, but these are the secrets to it, right? Get right time, right things, microbes, all this. You're going to get better rice. Who wants better rice? This guy. So last one for today. I know there's only a few short slides here, but getting through it. Okay. The natural farming barn. Who's concerned about their barns? Everyone should have one. We should all have integrated livestock. Look at that egg. Look at that egg. He's lifting it up with chopsticks and it's not even bursting. That's the kind of stuff you get, and you can do it at home. Imagine that small chicken flock right in your backyard. Your neighbors won't even know, besides they'll come over and pet your cute little chicks. Okay, everyone wants chicks, hot chicks and the warm chicks in the backyard, right? Okay, the natural farming barn is designed to provide optimal environment for livestock to live in, considering each animal's social characteristics and comfortable living space needs. Number one, I hear, even Lex Friedman, it's like, what's his number one enemy? It's CAFOs. It's where you put all these animals, you cram them in tight spaces and you treat them poorly and they're like just on the edge of death, right? Natural farming's whole philosophy is, dude, these animals got to live in this house. Let's give them a noble quality lifestyle. I go up to my pigs. They're so happy. They're rolling around in IMOs. They're like, it's not like some CAFO where they're dead and like stepping on each other and like barely breathing for life and like stuck in a dark room where they never even see the light. You go to a pork CAFO, it's like, you probably wouldn't want to eat commercial pork anymore. But natural farming is all about comfortable airflow. They got a better view than I do. It's a luxury up there. And that's what it's all about, right? And I respect their social characteristics, right? Pigs want to dig. They can dig. They can make little holes. They're on a nice living floor. It's not like they're on concrete where you're spraying them down. They have to stand on concrete all day. If you stand on concrete all day, you're going to have back problems. Same with your pigs, right? So put them on a soft forest floor. They're in a deep litter system. No back problems. My pigs are awesome. Okay. So then he goes on to say the curved roof with vents and walls with windows are designed to provide effective natural fresh air circulation and an ample amount of sunlight daily, right? Don't you want fresh air? Don't you want sunlight to charge up your vitamin D and just feel good about life? If you're always in the dark, people get what they call seasonal affected disorder, like SADS or whatever, which is also the standard American diet. But those two probably work in tandem. And when it rains in like Seattle and Pacific Northwest, people get depressed during the winter. Well, heck, give their pigs sunlight, right? They won't get depressed. They won't be emotional damage, right? They won't have that, right? And the floor is made of a mixture of soil and natural farming resources to provide good fermenting conditions, right? So the floor is living. It's actually good microbes. It's not pathogens. It's not, pathogens or putrefaction. It's fermentation. It's active. It's releasing CO2, not nitrogen. It's good. It's good to breathe. So because the floor is alive, no artificial heating is needed in the barn because it's naturally warm. There's no need to remove the waste, no soil contamination, no pollution, and no foul smell in the barn. And I can testify to that. I've done this for over 15 years of having pigs, and it is just like amazing. There's no bad smell. There's no pollution. The only thing I get out of is actually better IMO, the what I call bio, because again, I said don't use IMO 5. It's bio, and it's just this amazing stuff that has the manure and the urine and everything broken down, and it doesn't even smell like manure. It's just amazing microbe stuff that comes out of there. And I don't have to wash it down. There's no water. There's no manure lagoon. It's just epic. Okay. And then I'll finish up with his last paragraph here saying livestock feed is made locally by the farmer from natural farming resources, which is low cost and has high fiber and high nutrient content. So you, as the natural farmer, this is the key, making your own feeds. And when you do that, you get better quality meat, better quality animals. And it's because you're encouraging the microbiome of the animals to be just in top shape and top, everything. Break it down, give them the better diet. They're not just eating fat slop waste. You can take slop and you can blend it with other things and actually like banana stumps or whatever you got around you that's a waste, corn husks or corn cobs or corn stalks, and blend all that and shred it and get it so that you build this amazing food that actually nourishes the animals the way they're meant to be nourished. And all that results in just amazing good stuff. So natural farming, again, what are the products? They're, better fruit, better crops, better rice, better barn. And of course, you can apply this to anywhere in the world where you're growing. And it doesn't have to just be these things, but it all works, and you're gonna get healthier and better because you're eating more nutritionally dense, non-polluting sources, which is really the whole key of, we want to affect climate change. We'll stop polluting, number one, and natural farming is the way to do that. So I'll leave you with that. Not sure how many people are here. I'll check the live to see if anyone's there. Next week, we'll be getting into the globalization of natural farming, which sounds fun. Not quite sure what that means, but we will find out together next week. And here, I'm just checking if anyone's still here. There's 21 people here. Where's the chat? I don't know. Maybe I'm still disconnected from it. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Sorry it kind of dropped out on you. So it goes. But again, check back natural farming. I'll upload this video because it'll have the whole thing of whatever cut out I was ranting about, different the vocabulary and all that. And hope you're enjoying the light on me. It's pretty bright. It's shining right at me. It's right here. You can see. Oh, look at that. I'm not even sure. It doesn't make a difference. I don't know. But yeah, getting the light on me. Whew. And hope you're enjoying this episode and all episodes. Again, knfsupport.com, or sponsored by the Pure KNF Foundation, which can be found at pureknf.org. And then all that. So I lost the chat. But anyway, thanks for the super chats, Ben. Appreciate that. Helps me buy ice cream for my pigs and keep them healthy. Of course, it's fermented ice cream. No, it's not, but don't worry. And anyway, I want to appreciate you for tuning in all around the world, spreading Korean natural farming, making it better, teaching where you're at, doing better things, making the life and the earth better. Again, thanks for being part of the tribe, the family, everything, doing your part to do your part, right? So, love you. I'll be back next week, I think, if everything goes well. If I don't blow another circuit, we'll see. I'll be here. Anyway, talking to maybe just the screen. But love you. Thank you. Aloha. Bye now.